Fox 2 and News 11 present the City of St. Louis mayoral debate.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 2 and KPLR 11, as well as simulcasting on KMOX Radio for a live debate between the two candidates for St. Louis mayor as we approach the election 2 weeks from today. I'm Jasmine Huda, and I will serve as moderator for this hour-long, uninterrupted program. The candidates will discuss the issues affecting residents of St. Louis and those who live in the region. Tashara Jones has served as city treasurer since 2012. She was the first African-American woman to serve as St. Louis treasurer. Since 2015, Kara Spencer has been representing the 20th Ward, which includes the Dutchtown Marine Villa and Gravois Park neighborhoods in South St. Louis. The two candidates will be taking questions from our media panel, and I'd like to introduce the panel now. Linda Lockhart is representing the Greater St. Louis Association of Black Journalists and the St. Louis Press Club. Michael Calhoun from KMOX Radio, and Gilbert Bailone, editor-in-chief of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And our Fox 2 KPLR web team is also monitoring social media during this debate for your comments and questions. You can be part of the conversation by using the hashtag STLDebate, and stay with us after the debate for the show after the show with the candidates. That's going to be on our website, fox2now.com. And we have also taken precautions to keep everyone in our studio safe during the pandemic. Our media panelists and the candidates are 6 feet apart, and there are plexiglass barriers between each of them. Now, before we begin, I'd like to review the format for this 1-hour debate. Each candidate will give a 2.5-minute opening statement. That will be followed by questions from the media panel, as well as from our audience via social media. The candidates will have 1.5 minutes to answer those questions. Rebuttals will be limited to 30 seconds at the discretion of the moderator. And we will finish with a 2.5-minute closing statement from each candidate. A coin toss was held March 12th right here in our studios to decide who would make the first opening statement. Fox 2 and KPLR General Manager Kurt Kruger tossed the coin. Alderwoman Spencer won the coin toss, and she has decided to go second. That means Treasurer Jones will have the opportunity to deliver her opening statement first. Welcome, Treasurer Jones. You have 2.5 minutes for your opening statement.
Yes, thank you. My name's Tashara Jones, and I use the she series pronouns. Electing a mayor with executive experience, existing relationships on the local, state, and national level, and a background in healthcare is what this moment demands. We don't have time for leadership that has to learn on the job. At the core of my campaign is a simple belief that you should be able to succeed here regardless of your skin color, who you love, how you worship, your zip code, or any identity you hold. This pandemic has laid bare the inequities that have always existed in this city. Racism, the unequal delivery of city services, and access to health care are issues that have permeated our policy-making decisions for generations. It's time to say no to business as usual and say yes to a St. Louis that's ready to tackle the 21st century. I'm running because a coalition of voters, supporters, and even those who don't support me are crying out for help. And what I hear is a call for leadership that's ready to lead, govern, and unify on day one. We have $500 million on its way to our city in federal aid. We need a mayor who's ready to disperse these funds with an eye towards equity and the experience to move quickly. So to the single mother who's struggling to make ends meet, to the LGBT plus youth who are wondering if St. Louis is a home for them, and to anyone who's felt like your government has forgotten about you or flat out left you behind, I see you, and I'm ready to serve. Plans to solve crime are great, but we can't condense them into 10 points and call it a day. We need to show up in our communities and work with our neighbors to develop strategies that work for and with them. Crime and violence don't stop at our borders. We need a mayor with relationships to the west and the east to work towards short and long-term solutions on day one. I'm the only candidate in this race with the experience who's ready to hit the ground running and deliver real results for the people of the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones. And next we welcome Alderwoman Kara Spencer. Alderwoman Spencer, you have 2.5 minutes for your opening statement.
Good evening, and thank you to the hosts, moderator, our panelists, my opponent, and to the viewers who will decide this election with your votes. My name is Kara Spencer, and I'm running to serve as our city's next mayor. St. Louis is in the fight of its life. And we need a leader who will meet this moment of both crisis and opportunity, not with divisiveness, but with grit, unity, and hope. Our city was struggling before COVID hit, but I know change is possible. I know this because I've seen it. I've led it in the 20th Ward as the Alderwoman. Several years ago, I looked around my neighborhoods and I saw needles in the streets, boarded up shops, and vacant buildings on every block. So in 2015, with no political experience, no political machine or family name behind me, I ran for office as an outsider. When the voters chose me, not the guy with all the endorsements, I got right to work, investing in our rec centers, turning our neighborhoods around, and now the 20th Ward is some of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the city. The federal stimulus plan passed by the Biden-Harris administration means the city of St. Louis is poised to receive $500 million in federal aid, 5 times the national average. The formula that calculated this amount was based on our poverty, the housing decay, and the economic stagnation that has plagued us for decades. A real testament to the struggles that our city is facing and a once-in-a-century opportunity to fix them. We need a mayor who we can trust to put those to use, serving our city's best interests, not someone with a track record of issuing no-bid contracts or embroiled in lawsuits. As mayor, I will move us past the challenges of today. It is time for St. Louis to turn the page on cronyism and political dynasties that have presided over decades of decline and dysfunction. It's time to bring St. Louis back and make City Hall work. I'm Kara Spencer. Join me in reshaping St. Louis.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. I'm now going to turn it over to our media panelists for their questions of the candidates. The first question will be from Linda Lockhart from the Greater St. Louis Association of Black Journalists and the St. Louis Press Club. Linda, if you could please pose your questions to the candidates, and Treasurer Jones, you will answer the question first, and again, you will have 1.5 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good evening. Let's get right to it. The issue that we all care about most, public safety, is top of mind for many people who live or work in St. Louis and for those visitors who come to St. Louis. Treasurer Jones, you've said that addressing gun violence and safety and crime will be your top priority, and that the issue needs a holistic and a regional approach. And Ms. Spencer, you've had personal experience with gun violence, and you've said that we have to understand the root causes. Specifically, what will you do to address those root causes of violent crime? How will your plan be different from so many others that have failed? And how will you pay for it?
That's a great question. So we need to put the public back in public safety, and that means making sure that we are deploying the right person to the right call. Not only has St. Louis experienced its most violent year in decades, we've also are tops in the nation for gun violence by our officers, or officer-involved shootings. And we need to turn from an arrest and incarcerate model to a prevention model, using all of the prevention methods and putting them on the table. I think we already have the money within the public safety budget to pay for it. It's about effectively deploying our resources, taking the budget that we have and using the money that we have. And being a mom and having to juggle my budget at home and also having to manage the treasurer's office budget, I have the experience to do that. And we need to make sure that we rebuild trust in our community. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. We still have 2 separate unions for black firefighters and white firefighters, for black police officers and white police officers. So we can't expect our communities to trust us if we don't trust ourselves.
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Alderwoman Spencer, your response, and again, 1.5 minutes.
Linda, thank you for your thoughtful question. You're right. Like many of our viewers tonight, crime is personal for me. As the victim of a violent crime myself. I know how important it is. That's why when I decided to run for mayor, I got serious about looking at what the city can and should be doing, taking from cities that have effectively addressed violence. I put together a comprehensive 10-step plan to start to address violence on day one. While I don't have time to go into all the details, I'll give you an outline. Starting out by pulling in programs that have been effective in other cities. We're going to bring focused deterrence to the city of St. Louis. This is a data-driven approach that has been successful at reducing homicides by up to 50% in cities that have deployed it in just a few years. We're going to get the basics right, like answering 911 calls. It is unconscionable that over 30% of the calls right now going into 911 are being answered by a recording rather than a trained dispatcher who can actually respond and make sure that our law enforcement can respond appropriately. And lastly, rebuilding trust. We know that we have a major breakdown in trust between our communities and our law enforcement agency. And this is preventing the law enforcement community getting the very vital information we need to solve crime. You asked how we're going to pay for it. You know, the Teneo study that recently came out that was paid for by the business community outlined an enormous amount of redundancies and inefficiencies within our police department. And I know that if we get to work addressing those issues from within, we'll have the funds to pay for it.
Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Treasurer Jones, would you like a rebuttal for 30 seconds?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The next question will be from Michael Calhoun, on-air personality and reporter from KMOX Radio. Michael will pose his question to Alderwoman Spencer first, minute and a half again.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good evening. This question is about tax incentives. They can attract developers and ensure diversity and equity benchmarks, but can also divert revenue from city needs and be applied unevenly. So what do you think is the balance, the proper balance for the city's use of tax incentives? Alderwoman Spencer.
I've spoken about this a lot, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to the viewers tonight about this. Incentivizing development is an important piece to driving investment into the city of St. Louis. We know there's a gap between what it costs to rehab a building and what it can sell for in the open market here in the city of St. Louis as the result of years of a stagnant regional economy. So there are real reasons why we need to use incentives, but we have to be judicious because we have a limited tax base and a pie to divvy out to those incentives. I have been fighting back when the deals don't make sense at City Hall since the day I got down there. But it is important to recognize their importance. So if I'm elected mayor, I'm going to reorient the St. Louis Development Corporation, that agency that really vets through and provides for those incentives, to reorient it to be proactive. And what we're going to do is work with our communities to develop a plan to really understand what the communities, what can be supported so that we are proactive in the delivery of those incentives to be driving investment, not where the developers want to put it, but where they can serve best the communities. I'd like to reorient that to fund from the general fund so that we can have a more balanced approach to how we are giving out those incentives so that they're put to the highest best use.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Treasurer Jones, your response.
Yes, I will put money, energy, and resources towards intentional investment. Just like we saw intentional investment in downtown and the Central Corridor, we saw intentional disinvestment in areas of North St. Louis and parts of South St. Louis. And so it should be no surprise that those areas are hollowing out because we have not used our development incentives to go in those areas. I think we've overused incentives in some areas. We've spent over $700 million since the year 2000, and often to the peril of our school district, because that money, 60% of every dollar that we spend on tax incentives takes away money from our schools. So my plan is also to reorient SLDC, make it more neighborhood focused, recruit a new SLDC director who is also focused on neighborhoods, who has experience bringing back cities, and work with that person and SLDC to push development to our neighborhoods, develop a plan that works for and with them.
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Our third panelist, Gilbert Bailone, is the editor-in-chief of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And Gilbert will now ask the next question from Treasurer Jones.
Good evening to both of you. You've both mentioned the $500 million coming from COVID federal relief. What are your top specific priorities for spending that money, and how would you go about allocating that through the Board of Aldermen and other constituencies in the city? What's the process for allocating that money?
Well, excuse me, the process for allocating that money obviously goes through the Board of Aldermen and through the Board of E&A, and I already have a majority of the board supporting me for mayor, as well as I have great working relationships already with the Board of E&A, with President Reed and with Comptroller Green, as I've been working with them for the past 8 years in the executive branch of government. So I want to work with the board to get to maybe 80% agreement. We won't get to 100%. My experience as a legislator in the Missouri House tells me that we won't get to 100%, but maybe 80 is fine. But my priorities are obviously making sure that we can keep people in their homes through rent and mortgage assistance, helping our small businesses get back on their feet through small business assistance, and also making sure that we stand up multiple mass vaccination sites using our flagship hospitals as well as our federally qualified health centers to form a network where everybody can get a shot locally rather than driving 4 hours like we've seen people doing recently. So, you know, and then also want to set aside a pot of funds to get community input because this is a lot of money. It can do a lot of good, and we want to make sure that we're getting community input as well on how we can spend the money, because I don't have all of the answers.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones. And your response to the same question, Alderwoman Spencer.
Sure. As I mentioned in my opening, this is a once-in-a-century opportunity. The amount of money that the city of St. Louis is positioned to receive from the federal government is 5 times the national average. And I mentioned those reasons why we're getting those funds. We need to first address the immediate needs, of course, and that looks like making sure we have a plan and we are executing an equitable delivery of vaccines into the arms of the folks who are most vulnerable. We need to address the underlying health issues and build trust while we're doing that so that we can have a long-term strategy for a health safety net in our communities. And we need to ensure that we do not see a disruption in housing. And that looks like making sure that folks have the money they need to pay their rent or their mortgage so we don't see a mass housing disruption. But given those major issues, the reasons why we're receiving such an enormous amount of money, we need to address those long-term issues that have been plaguing our community for decades. And the way we do that is by prioritizing funding for stabilizing housing, getting people into a home ownership model. It looks like down payment assistance straight from the city of St. Louis. Empowering a workforce by making sure that our graduating seniors have real money, not hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to go to college or a trade school. And lastly, to help our small businesses have the tools and the funds they need to get going after COVID, and to ensure that our budding entrepreneurs have the funds they need to get a business going, particularly in our census tracts that have been most impacted by COVID and the other issues that really drove the enormity of that package.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Well, we have received several questions from the audience over social media. We're going to take our first question, and this one comes from St. Louis Post-Dispatch reader and KMOX listener James Schmitz of St. Louis Hills. And this is going to go first to Alderwoman Spencer. The question he is asking is, what kind of working relationship will you have with Kimberly Gardner and the St. Louis Prosecutor's Office? Will you facilitate changes to improve engagement between the police department and prosecutor's office and encourage efficiencies to increase the conviction rate? Alderwoman Spencer, minute and a half.
Thanks so much for this question. It's such an important one. I come at this as a victim myself, and I'm going to approach this with a victims first approach. And that means making sure that we have a path for justice in our court system. If we don't have a path for justice in our courts, we will continue to see justice play out in our streets. I'm committed to working with Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner on her criminal justice reforms, making sure that we are not incarcerating folks unnecessarily for crimes of poverty, homelessness, and drug addiction. But we do need to make sure that we are putting behind bars those folks who are responsible for the heinous acts of violence that are taking place in our communities. By that, I mean we are going to, if elected mayor, work together with our prosecuting attorney's office and our police department to heal that relationship so that our witnesses and victims can feel comfortable coming forward with the very vital information that our law enforcement agencies need to provide the prosecutors to get justice in the courts. I do support the prosecutors reform agenda, and I think it's important to recognize that we need to move away from incarceration as the only tool to getting justice in our communities. Working on supporting our communities first with a health first model, making sure that we have other alternatives beyond incarceration is a big piece of that puzzle.
Right, thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Treasurer Jones, same question.
This is another one of those instances where we don't have time for someone to build a relationship. I have been a strong supporter of circuit attorneys for the last 8 years. I supported her in her first election as well as her recent re-election. She has diversion programs that exist right now, but can't get funding from the Board of Aldermen because they've cut her funding. So how can we expect her to have a criminal justice reform agenda if we don't help her fund it? So, and she's been fighting against the mayor's office for the last 4 years. So if I am elected, that stops now. We cannot fight against our other elected officials. We need to provide them the tools and the money that they need to do their jobs effectively.
Follow-up question for both of you on this social media question brought up by this individual. Part of it was asking about how do you improve engagement between the police department and the prosecutor's office? And I know you're both familiar with the profile of Kimberly Gardner's office a week or two ago on 60 Minutes. How do you improve that relationship between the police department and the prosecutor's office? And I will begin with you, Alderwoman Spencer. 30 seconds.
Sure. Well, it's going to start by addressing the issues that the Circuit Attorney's Office has addressed. Working with our police department to address some of the underlying issues that the Circuit Attorney has. So she has a list of officers, and we're going to go through that and make sure that officers that are not abiding by the law are held accountable. And we're going to build trust between those departments by addressing some of the policy issues that we have failed to address, holding special prosecutors for acts of violence from within our police department. We know we are the #1 city in homicides from our police department. We need to address that.
Thank you. And Treasurer Jones, your response, 30 seconds.
Yeah, so, you know, the buck stops with the mayor's office, and if the police chief is being antagonistic towards the prosecuting attorney, then the mayor needs to step in and make sure that she smooths things over. And that's exactly what's been happening the last 4 years under this administration. So again, this is about where the buck stops and making sure that the mayor steps in to provide the cooperation that the circuit attorney needs. The second part is, the police union needs to get rid of Jeff Rorta because he keeps up all of the division between the police department and the circuit attorney's office. And so I have told the Police Officers Association, if they don't get rid of him, they don't have a seat at my table.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones. Let's go to our next question from social media. And this one is coming from the Greater St. Louis Association of Black Journalists. And it is to be answered first by Treasurer Jones. And the question is from Bonita Tillman from the Academy neighborhood. Bonita is asking, do you have a plan to boost residential development in North City and help erase the Delmar divide? First to respond, Treasurer Jones.
Yes, I live north of Delmar. I was born and raised north of Delmar, and it is sad every time I leave my house that I see the homes that could be rehabbed and are not. And yes, I have a plan to redevelop North St. Louis by making sure that we make intentional investments in North St. Louis. Just like I said before, just like investment in downtown and the Central West End was intentional, so is disinvestment north of Delmar. This has happened for decades under Vince Shamel and the Team 4 plan. So we have to put a plan together to make sure that we are investing in people that have not been invested in decades, and that's what racial equity is about.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones. Minute and a half. Alderwoman Spencer, same question.
Absolutely. The COVID relief plan that I discussed earlier includes a large portion of those funds going to stabilizing housing, and it focuses those funds on North St. Louis, at least 65%. We're going to do 4 different things within that housing stabilization plan. One, mentioned earlier, a down payment assistance plan so that residents of low to moderate income can have an access to their first home. We're going to be providing for some of our lower income homeowners that are currently in housing to make sure that they have the funds they need to do the major home repairs. Home repair program is going to see a major boost through that federal funding package, and that looks like thousands of homes that can be stabilized through that federal package. We're going to be revitalizing North St. Louis through getting a handle of our LRA, the city-owned parcels, and making sure that those properties, we estimate half of them, can be stabilized with this funds and put in the hands of real people. And lastly, a plan to address the vacant school buildings that have laid vacant for so many years without a real plan to redevelop them. This federal package is a once-in-a-century opportunity to invest in those neighborhoods north of Del Mar that have seen disinvestment for the last several decades.
Right. Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Okay, let's go back to our media panel. Linda Lockhart again with the Greater St. Louis Association of Black Journalists and the Press Club of St. Louis. Linda, please ask your next question of the candidates, and this time we will begin with Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you. When we talk about the declining population in the city and how to reverse that, we often hear that the state of public schools is one reason people choose to live elsewhere. What role will you play with the St. Louis Public Schools, which continue struggling with low student achievement, declining enrollment, and obsolete but beloved buildings? How can the mayor, who's also a mom, help address the challenges educators and families face in seeing that all students can strive to excel, or is that totally out of your scope?
No, you know, it's often said that the mayor of the city of St. Louis doesn't have control of the schools, and that's true to some extent. I mean, you know, the mayor doesn't preside over the school district. There's an elected school board who does that, but the mayor has an enormous responsibility and role to play in ensuring that every child in the city of St. Louis has access to a quality education. I come at this, as you mentioned, as a mother who chooses to educate my child here within the city of St. Louis. It is so important that we provide that path of quality education to every child. When we looked at earlier this year, the proposed closure of so many of our St. Louis public schools, recognizing that that is devastating to our families, our children, and the educators that serve them. I sat down with the superintendent and the elected school board and asked them what can and should the administration be doing to support our St. Louis public school kids. And that is the lens through which I built my education platform. It looks like leaning in to those folks who are at the helm of our St. Louis public school district. They are asking for a moratorium, a moratorium on opening new school buildings until we have a citywide plan. It looks like curbing some of the tax incentives that take funding away from our schools and expanding opportunities by funding a real universal access to early education and a special education system that can fund additional resources for our kids who need a little extra. Exposure to poverty, exposure to violence, and exposure to lead continue to inhibit many of our St. Louis public school kids from being able to learn in a traditional environment.
Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Treasurer Jones, your response, minute and a half.
Yes, so this is work that I've been already doing for the last 6 years. I started the College Kids Children's Savings Account program, which gives a $50 college savings account to every kindergartner in the public school. We already have over 18,000 children with over $1.5 million saved for their futures. And people may not think that a few $100s is enough, but studies at Washington University show that children with less than $500 saved are 7 times more likely to complete college. So this is another example where I already have existing relationships working with our school leaders of our charter schools, as well as our school board and our superintendent. And I would never judge anyone on where they send their child to school. So my job as a mayor is to make sure that every building that's open and educating our children is delivering a quality education for our children and also taking care of our families. Schools used to be community schools. And so how can we also take care of the community as well as the parents, grandparents, and everybody who accesses that building? So I look at the mayor as a convener of sorts or a connector of sorts, connecting our schools and our children to resources to help them not only just survive, but to thrive.
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Let's send it over now to Michael Calhoun with KMOX Radio for his next question of the candidates. Michael, please pose your question first to Treasurer Jones.
Thank you, Jasmine. This question is about civic innovation. How do you feel the city is? Is the city receptive enough to new ideas and approaches? Could it move faster? What areas do you think could use a fresh approach? And at the same time, if you do move swiftly, how do you evaluate success or not and then move on from there? Treasurer Jones.
Yes, I believe that this is a place where St. Louis has an opportunity for improvement. And this is another place where I have experience. When I took over the treasurer's office, it was stuck in the 19th century. And we skipped over the 20th century to go to the 21st century. And this is how we did it. I hired a chief IT officer or an innovation officer, and we built an IT department from ground up. And we need a chief innovation officer to do the same thing with City Hall, to make sure that we are connecting people to resources, that they can access City Hall in whatever way they feel comfortable, and also engaging our tech community to make sure that that whatever new technology or new or having like a what are those things, the conventions where they figure out a problem and solve it with technology, right? We need to engage our technology community a lot more in solving the city's civic problems. And that's what I plan on doing as mayor.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones, and your response, Alderwoman Spencer.
Sure, this is an area that we need vast improvement, and we need it now. You know, from every aspect of city government, the structure of our government is unreformed. We are one of the last cities in the nation that has this unreformed, archaic form of city government. When I launched this campaign a year ago, I joked I would throw the typewriters out of City Hall, but the reality is there are really typewriters down there in City Hall serving very vital function for our residents. When we filed to run for mayor just a couple months ago, I filled out several forms on carbon paper, real carbon paper, one of them in the office of my opponent. We are serving our citizens as though we are 100 years back. So when you go down to City Hall, nobody that has been there in the last several years thinks that we are functioning at the highest, best, most current way of operating. So if I'm elected mayor, I'm going to get serious about addressing the issues outlined in several of the audits, including the fact that our 911 operators are operating on Windows 7. This is a program that often drops calls when you're calling 911, when the program is so old that we are unable to even get updates for it. We have an enormous amount of innovation that's needed at City Hall, and although it will cost money, it is costing us millions in the inefficiencies and the ineffective delivery of city services on a very regular basis. If I'm elected mayor, we're going to get serious about doing an ROI and making those investments where we need them to make our government work for you.
Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Treasurer Jones, would you like a rebuttal for 30 seconds?
No, thank you.
Okay. Let's move to our next question from St. Louis Post-Dispatch editor Gilbert Bailone. And Gilbert, this question will go to Alderwoman Spencer first.
Regionalism is a popular topic here, but two recent attempts with Better Together and Board of Freeholders weren't successful. So my question to you is, what actions would you take towards regionalism regarding economic development and governance? What specific steps you might be able to take to get this forward? Although those big efforts didn't work, what steps can be made in those areas? Alderman.
This is for me, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Gilbert. This is such an important and pertinent conversation to where we are right now. I approach this as a true St. Louisan, someone who was born in the city, spent a lot of time in St. Louis County, lived in different municipalities, but have lived in the city of St. Louis for the last couple of decades. View myself as a St. Louisan, no matter where I live, as most of us do. Until we address regionalism and really approach economic development and growing St. Louis as a community, we will continue to stagnate. So addressing this is key to our success. When I became a member of the Board of Aldermen, I also went to St. Louis County, became a member of the St. Louis Municipal League, that organization that really represents the municipalities in the St. Louis region. It was that organization that put together one of those proposals you just mentioned, the Board of Freeholders. The reason I mention this is because I'm the first member of that organization at the executive level from the city of St. Louis in 100 years. We have been failing to interact proactively and productively with our neighbors. We spent the last 4 years embarking upon privatizing our airport, which is located in St. Louis County, without communicating with our regional leaderships. If I'm elected mayor, this will stop. I will lean into the Municipal League and the organization that put together the funding and the signatures to establish the Board of Freeholders, and I will actually set the table to move that conversation from a community bottom-up approach rather than that Better Together top-down approach, so that we can actually see movement on a combination of some kind, a regional approach to how we govern our St. Louis region.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Treasurer Jones, your response.
Yes, this is another example of where existing relationships come into play, and we won't have time to build relationships. I've known Dr. Sam Page since 2008, and we have a great working relationship. We talk several times a week and are already looking at ways how we can pool the money that's coming, the federal funds that are coming to St. Louis, on how we can deliver more services for the city and county. And these invisible borders that we have, once I'm elected mayor, those borders disappear. We may never get to a city-county merger, but what we will do is have more cooperation and collaboration with St. Louis County when I am mayor. We can already look at the health department. That's a big area because St. Louis City's health department doesn't deliver direct services anymore. We can look at our police department and public safety and increasing communication there so we can solve more violent crime and also have better training of all of our officers. And economic development. We can have a real regional economic development plan because, again, those invisible borders between St. Louis City and county will come down if I am elected mayor.
Alderwoman Spencer, would you like a rebuttal for 30 seconds?
Sure. As I mentioned, I have extraordinary relationships with the leadership in St. Louis County. And it is those municipal mayors who have done a phenomenal job leading the charge on that conversation about the Board of Freeholders. It is that organization and those municipal leaders that I really believe represent a paradigm shift in this conversation being led by St. Louis County rather than St. Louis City. And for that reason, I'm very hopeful about how we can move forward with partnership in the city of St. Louis. And as mayor, I will bring that partnership to this conversation.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Treasurer Jones, did you want to respond for 30 seconds?
No, thank you.
Okay, we'd like to include some more questions that we have received via social media. This next question is from a Fox 2 viewer, Terry Coates in Dutchtown, St. Louis. And Treasurer Jones, this one will go to you first. Terry is asking, have you reviewed the Corrections Task Force report for the City Justice Center? If so, what do you believe to be the most important recommendation? And as mayor, how will you improve the overall conditions of the jail? And as we all know, we saw the City Justice Center making national news last month in the most unflattering way when we saw the fires that were set and the vandalism to the building. What is your response to the Justice Center?
Those problems existed for months, and our detainees are crying out for help. We don't do a good job at taking care of our detainees, period. We don't treat them with dignity and respect. So a few things that need to happen. Number one, the task force did not have full open access to interview all of the detainees and get through the entire facility. Number two, they talked about building a new facility. We don't need a new facility. We just need to do the maintenance on the facility that we have and make sure that the doors lock. It's not much of a jail if the doors don't lock. But we also need to train our correction staff to treat our detainees with dignity and respect. And we also need to hold everyone accountable for all of the things that are happening at the Justice Center. The drug overdoses, the toilets not flushing, the doors not locking. So we need to hold everybody accountable and do a total rehab of our Justice Center.
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Alderwoman Spencer, same question.
The dysfunction in our city jails is astounding. And we should really recognize this by making, unfortunately, national news again on this subject. The failure to have locking doors is inexcusable, and it really should showcase the enormous amount of work that we have to do within our incarceration facilities. It's important to note that the city of St. Louis has not one, but 2 incarceration facilities, and we're very unusual for a city our size in that way. And in order for us to move forward, we need to understand the structure of how we're funding those. The folks that we're housing in there, in both those facilities, are not convicted felons for the most part. These are people that are awaiting trial, and it is our responsibility while they're in our custody to make sure that they are safe and healthy while they are awaiting trial. And we are failing to do those very basic things. And so if I'm elected mayor, I'm committed to working with the advocacy community that has been pointing out these issues for so many years now. It's important that we do get the funding. We need to recognize that the folks that are housed in there are not held on city charges. These are folks held on both state and federal charges, and the city of St. Louis is reimbursed from those two entities, government entities, just a fraction of what it costs to house them. And if I'm elected mayor, we're going to take a look at those contracts and make sure that we have the funding we need to ensure the proper safety and health and well-being of those folks that are held in our custody.
On a related note, you both have brought up the workhouse. I'll give you both 30 seconds to respond. Treasurer Jones, you have said that the workhouse should be closed. When should it be closed? Do we wait for things to improve at the CJC, or do we do it now?
This isn't a either or proposition. It's a both and proposition. We can make the repairs to the city jail downtown and close the workhouse at the same time. And I am committing to closing the workhouse in my first 100 days.
How about you, Alderwoman Spencer? Excuse me, Treasurer Jones, were you finished?
I'm finished.
Okay, thank you, Treasurer Jones. Alderwoman Spencer, your thoughts on the workhouse. When you have said you would like to see it closed, when should that happen?
I am fully committed to closing the city's workhouse, that second jail facility, but recognizing that the enormous challenges with a failure to have working locks in the other incarceration facility, my first priority is making sure that those that are in the city's custody and those that we employ to ensure their safety are safe and healthy in a incarceration facility. And until we get to the bottom of the real structural issues impacting both, I don't think it's responsible to say when. However, I remain committed to getting it closed, and I believe we can get it done before the end of this year.
Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Okay, a question now from Mike Regan of Valley Park, and he is asking, what are you going to do to make it certain it will be safe again to return to St. Louis City to watch a Cardinal ball game? I do not feel secure parking my car or walking to attend a game in the evening. Alderwoman Spencer, this one goes to you first.
Sure. This is such an important question. This is why when I decided to run for mayor, I got serious about putting together a comprehensive plan to address violence and crime in our city. Went to the cities that have been effectively addressed violence. And make no mistake, the city of St. Louis has been sticking out like a sore thumb nationally for failing to reduce violence in our communities. Pulling from those cities that have been successful, we're going to bring in focused deterrence, the model I mentioned earlier, that is going to shift the focus from one of geographical nature, those rectangles and triangles we've seen that haven't really been effective in reducing violence, and focus instead on the very small number of people that are at risk of being involved in violence. It's a very effective data-driven approach that's worked in every city it's been applied to. Secondly, we are going to go beyond traditional policing and make sure that we are holding landlords accountable for the degradation of the properties that they are holding on to. We see this happening downtown. We're going to get serious about enforcing excise and ensuring that the cruising and other behavior that is taking place in our downtown area is curbed right off the bat. And lastly, that trust piece where we're going to be rebuilding trust within our neighborhoods, so that within our communities, so that the witnesses and victims of crime feel comfortable coming forward with the very vital information that our law enforcement needs to solve the violent crime that's taking place throughout the city of St. Louis. And we hope you come back for a winter game hopefully this year.
All right, Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. Same question, Treasurer Jones, a minute and a half.
Yeah, plans to solve crime are great, but we can't condense them into 10 points and call it a day. We need a holistic and regional approach to solving crime, or to preventing crime in our city, not just solving crime. And that means bringing everybody to the table, declaring gun violence as a public health crisis, and enlisting all of our communities in making sure that we are providing the resources that people need to turn away from a life of crime. I'm glad that Alderwoman supports focused deterrence. It was on my 2017 platform, and it's on my current platform, and I'm glad to see that she supports that. But we need to use all of the prevention tools in the toolbox, and again, and put a regional approach, bringing all of our counties to the west and the east to solve crime and to prevent crime in our city. And hopefully, you know, the viewer who submitted that question will come back downtown for a ball game. It is safe. I know that because we employ off-duty officers at our garages during ball games, so we know that it's safe. And please come back.
All right.
I'll take a rebuttal on that.
Okay, sure. 30 seconds, Alderwoman Spencer.
No one is suggesting that we implement 10 things and call it a day. That's ridiculous. But we do need a plan to address violence. And that's exactly what I bring to the table as your next mayor. If we don't have a plan, we're planning to fail again and continue the increasing violence in our neighborhoods. What's important to recognize here is that we cannot have a successful region without a successful city. And we cannot have a successful city without a successful downtown. Our downtown is our economic engine with 17,000 jobs, and a failure to address the activity going on down there is a real failure to see the success of our region.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. Treasurer Jones, would you like a rebuttal?
Yes, we can't expect downtown to succeed if over half the city is left to fail. And so we have to make market investments in our communities and develop plans and strategies that work for and with them in order to really prevent crime.
All right, thank you, Treasurer Jones. All right, this question comes from Fox 2 viewer Thomas Long in St. Louis Hills. Thomas Long is asking, both candidates have presented their proposed plans to rein in violent crime. However, neither of those plans addresses the 150 or so vacancies in the St. Louis Police Department. The department is currently understaffed and overworked. Routinely, citizens living in high crime areas are asking for more police presence. Do each of the candidates consider the high vacancy rate in the SLMPD, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, as a problem that needs to be addressed? If yes, how do they plan to address it? Treasurer Jones, you first.
Yes, I do think that vacancies in the police department need to be addressed, but we also have vacancies in all city departments that need to be addressed. But also part of my public safety plan is putting the public back in public safety. That means deploying the right professional to the right call. We need to staff our public safety department with different types of professionals, licensed clinical social workers, mental health counselors, substance abuse counselors. This in turn frees up police to do police work. So they are overworked because they are responding to everything. We already know that research done in the North Patrol District says that up to 50% of calls can be answered by someone other than police. So how can we put the public back in public safety and free up police to do police-involved work while responding with the right professional to the right call?
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Alderwoman Spencer, a minute and a half.
Having our law enforcement be able to effectively answer calls to violence has got to be a main priority of our next administration. And I will take this very seriously. I also recognize the study I mentioned earlier, the Teneo report on policing, identified an enormous amount of redundancy and inefficiency within our police department. The study also outlined that hiring up 150 officers is a very long-term strategy, given the amount of officers that cycle through and are retiring on a regular basis. So we need to hit the ground running and use the resources that we have right off the bat to reorient our police department to be much more efficient and effective in responding to violence immediately. And I'm confident that bringing in the folks behind the Teneo report, we can start to better deploy our policing resources how we most appropriately need them.
I want to follow up with both of you, 30 seconds each, when we talk about kind of reconfiguring the police department to make them more efficient. How would that address the actual manpower? When I think the shortage is now about 160 police officers. So we're talking about a department that is 10 or 11% understaffed and with a violent homicide rate that is through the roof. How does that get addressed when you've got overtime issues and you've got staffing issues? Will the manpower be affected?
Well, our police department is already the largest of a city our size, of 9 other cities our size. So this is about making sure that we are deploying the right professional to the right call and making sure that we are deploying our resources effectively. Just like it was brought up in the Teneo report, we don't actually know how many officers we have that are either on sick leave or white shirts or blue shirts. So we need to do a top-down review of the number of officers that we have and also staff with alternative professionals to deploy the right professional to the right call.
Thank you, Treasurer Jones. 30 seconds, Alderwoman.
We are missing a strategy for dealing with violence. We don't have a strategy. And without a strategy, we cannot possibly begin to be efficient and effective at addressing violence. And so simply in putting that in place is going to move the needle on effectiveness within the police department right off the bat. We know that over 50% of our police force are not actually patrolling the streets. This is a problem, and there will be a lot of efficiency built back into the system if we can reorient how our police officers, our police department are deployed.
Thank you, Alderwoman Spencer. One last follow-up question for both of you. We have a little bit of time left, and I'll give each of you 30 seconds, and I will begin with Treasurer Jones. We hear a lot about management and who's on top, and we know Public Safety Director Jimmy Edwards is announced he's going to vacate his post. What about Chief Hayden? Would you like to see him in his role at the police department as chief? Treasurer Jones.
You know, I would interview Chief Hayden to see if he's the right person for the job, but we need to make sure that the chief is a strong person able to hold his officers accountable. So that is also, I think everything's on the table. Every position is on the table. There are no sacred cows here. So we need to interview all of the staff to see if they're doing their jobs effectively and delivering the right services, good services for the city of St. Louis.
Treasurer Jones, thank you. Alderwoman Spencer, 30 seconds. Same question about Chief Hayden.
Sure. This is not a question that I, as mayor, am going to answer alone. This is a question I'm going to involve the community and our law enforcement and other stakeholders at the table in. Chief Hayden and I enjoy an analytical approach, both having studied mathematics and approach this issue from a data-driven perspective. And I know from talking with officers, particularly officers of color, that Chief Hayden has made great strides in addressing some of the underlying racism within our police department. I'm going to lean into those individuals to help make that decision, not alone, but with them.
All right, Alderwoman Spencer, thank you. We're now going to move to the last part of tonight's program. We're going to ask each candidate to offer her final remarks. And first, I would like to ask Treasurer Jones for her closing statement. Treasurer Jones, you have 2.5 minutes.
Well, thank you for joining us this evening. This has been a very spirited conversation. When I was growing up in the Hamilton Heights, Wells, Goodfellow, and Walnut Park neighborhoods, I wanted to be many things, but politics was the thing I said I'd never do. Well, my mama, God rest her soul, used to say the quickest way to make God laugh is to tell him what you would never do. See, it's one thing to have a vision or a platform, but it's something totally different to turn that platform into a reality. And that's exactly what I've done in the Treasurer's office the last 8 years. I'm the only candidate with the executive experience of turning a vision or platform into a reality, the management experience of managing a staff of hundreds of people and a budget of millions of dollars, and existing relationships on the local, state, and national level to put St. Louis back on the map. I'm asking you to dream bigger, because bigger and better is indeed possible. But this kind of change, not incremental change, real transformational change, requires a mayor who's ready to embrace a new vision for St. Louis. You need a champion and someone that will fight for you. This is about all of you, whether you live in Penrose, Holly Hills, or everywhere in between. Let's build a new St. Louis together. In the St. Louis that you and I are going to build together, youth will be at the center of our planning. Police will not be the only answer when you dial 911. Tax revenues will help fix our leaky civic systems, and your government will be open to you. We don't have time for leadership that has to learn on the job. We need a mayor ready to lead, govern, and unify on day one, and I will be that mayor. I'm running to create our St. Louis, united, strong, confident, and equitable. Text Team TJ to 77948 to get involved today. And again, I'm Tashara Jones. I use the she series pronouns, and I'm asking you to say yes to me for mayor of the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Treasurer Jones, thank you for your closing statement. I'd like to now ask Alderwoman Kara Spencer for her 2.5-minute closing statement. Alderwoman Spencer.
Thank you again to all of you for hosting this important conversation, and thank you to the viewers who've tuned in all the way to the end. Tonight, I've shared with you some of the things I'll work on and serve if I'm elected to serve as our city's next mayor. But now I'd like you to sit back and imagine what a St. Louis can look like if we get serious about addressing violence with a data-driven approach taken from cities that have effectively done this and been successful at reducing violence. If we get serious about equitable development, holding landlords accountable, and bring the energy and investment that we've seen in the 20th Ward to neighborhoods throughout the city of St. Louis. We reopen after COVID by giving small businesses the tools and the funding they need to get started and be successful following this enormous pandemic. And if we invest in our communities, in our people with a commitment to equity and a plan for accountability to move the needle forward. My approach is different from my opponents because I built a career outside of politics before I came to the Board of Aldermen, helping businesses grow their bottom line, making smart decisions, and I know how to grow this city. I've stood up to entrenched special interests, not sometimes, but every single time. Over the last year, while my opponent was steering a lucrative contract to a campaign donor, I was fighting and winning against the special interests that were trying to privatize our airport. As an alderwoman, I have represented one of the most diverse wards in the city of St. Louis. I know how to work with people, all kinds of people, to get the job done. I don't back down from a tough fight or a difficult conversation, whether it's with an opposing political party in Jefferson City or a questioning editorial board back home. We need a leader who will sit down with everyone to make St. Louis work. If I'm elected mayor, I will build an inclusive, diverse city government that works for you. Under new leadership, St. Louis looks like a city that's with safer neighborhoods, with communities that are growing, with schools with children in every desk, and an equitable economy that works for everyone. I'm Kara Spencer, and I'm asking you for your vote on April 6th. Let's reshape St. Louis together.
Alderwoman Spencer, thank you for your closing statement. Well, this mayoral election is different than other ones in the past. The primary earlier this month was the first time that St. Louis voters used the new two-part election system. Voters could cast their ballot for one or as many candidates as they chose. The top two candidates, in this case, Treasurer Tashara Jones and Alderwoman Kara Spencer, moving forward to a runoff in the general election on April 6th, 2 weeks from today. In addition to the St. Louis City mayor's race, there are several other ballot issues and races around the region that will have voters heading to the polls on April 6th. They include Proposition E in St. Louis City, and that will determine if the city's 1% earnings tax will be renewed for 5 years. Several mayor's races in smaller Missouri and Illinois cities, including Chesterfield, Cottleville, Alton, ballot issues for school improvements in school districts like Kirkwood, Melville, and Riverview Gardens, and local school board races. I would like to thank the candidates Tashara Jones and Kara Spencer for participating in this mayoral debate, and also a big thank you to our media panelists. Linda Lockhart with the Greater St. Louis Association of Black Journalists and the St. Louis Press Club, Michael Calhoun from KMOX Radio, and Gilbert Bailone, Editor-in-Chief of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Remember to vote on Tuesday, April 6th. This debate, by the way, will also be posted on our website, fox2now.com, on Facebook, as well as on our media partners' websites. We hope you can now join us for our conversation continuing next on fox2now.com, on KMOX Radio Facebook page, and the St. Louis Post-Dispatch/debate, with the show after the show. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.